Hi, Muscle Mommies. I am jumping with joy today because I'm sitting here and I'm not only recording, I am doing a video recording of this as well. So, this is very exciting. And I think it's the start of something very, very big. I know it's the start of something very big. I also just had coffee, so I feel like the words are going to be pouring out of my mouth. So, why is my tower leaning? It's like the Leaning Tower of Pisa. I pray it's fine. Okay. Whew, I need to take a breath. 1 second. Let's everyone take a breath together. I'll explain to you why I'm taking a breath after I do it. But let's just take a breath. Wherever you guys are. Inhale through our nose. We're going to inhale. And then when we inhale, we're going to take one more suck in, get in all the oxygen, and then let out a sigh. Okay? Let's go. Okay. So the reason why I had to do that little breath, not just because it's amazing for, calming your vagus nerve. I decided this like 5 minutes ago. I am going to be recording all of my podcasts with my stomach out. And my stomach is one of my biggest insecurities. And I always challenge myself to run with my stomach out, which is probably like my hardest challenge right now, and work out with my stomach out when I can. A lot of the times, the biker shorts I wear, it's uncomfortable to pull my biker shorts down. But when it's comfortable, I try to work out with my stomach like revealed. Anyways, yeah, that's like kind of one way I still combat my insecurities today, because I've dealt with a lot and been on a long journey of it. But because I am still, of course, always a work in progress with my physical insecurities, even though it doesn't control me anymore, I still notice when they're there, when they come up, and even when you're bloated and just kind of stuff like that. Just let it out, let it be. And the whole point of this podcast, which I'm just so excited I'm recording, is just like the raw energy of like fucking humans. And I look damn cute today. If you guys are listening and you're not on YouTube, I'll describe you my outfit. I am wearing an Aerie set, and it's this cute little, like those shorts. If you guys know those like runner influencers on TikTok, where they like the shorts flow out. I'm wearing one of those in like a tight green top, and it's like lime green. I look like a damn lima bean, and I look good. And the stomach is revealed, so we're feeling good. And I'm going to try to not put on makeup for all these podcasts. So I don't usually put on makeup anyways, but if I already have makeup on from like an event and then I go to record, which I doubt will ever happen, I'm not going to take my makeup off for these things. But the whole point is I'm trying to give you guys a space where you could just feel comfortable when you're watching me and just like let the belly out, breathe. And this isn't about appearance, even though I put on a damn cute outfit. Yeah, I look good. Anyways, okay. See how I'm like breathing heavy? I think it's the coffee and my excitement. I need a few more breaths. Okay. I'm going to be talking about today a few things that's been on my mind lately. And also my setup right now, because I couldn't find my tripod, is coconut oil, 2 candles, and then my camera propped on top of like a coffee table. And the reason why I'm telling you this is not just because it looks ridiculous, but because I think sometimes we assume we don't want to start big projects when we're not ready. Like, oh, but I need to have this. I need to have my tripod. Oh, I need to have the right SD card. Oh, I need to do this. If you really want to do something, you're going to make the adjustments to do it. And it's not going to matter. Like, oh, when people are like, oh, I need the money to do this, this, and this. No, you don't. Do it to the best of your abilities. And when preparation meets opportunity, you will be thriving. Okay. So if you're like, oh, I don't want to start a YouTube channel because I have to do this and this and this, but I've always wanted to do it, or I don't want to start a podcast because then I have to go research this, and this, and I don't even know what mic to get, and I don't even know if I want to start this whole Instagram account. It's going to be a whole ordeal. Shut the fuck up. If you want to start it, you're going to start it no matter what barriers you're facing, okay? And all those barriers are excuses. I deal with that a lot with my own brand, which is Swole Shady Incorporated, and I always am like, oh, well, I'm busy with classes. And it's true, I'm busy with classes. I know if I want to make the time, I'm going to make the time. It's as simple as that. The same way a relationship works. If you want to make the time for the person, if you think you're capable of doing it, you're going to do it. If you don't think you're capable of making time for another person in your life, you shut them out. Okay, bye. Can you tell I've been through a breakup recently? Yeah, I'll be saying that a lot on here. Anyways, I'm sipping my iced vanilla latte, which I've still yet to master. I don't know why I can't master it, but I got the Monin vanilla flavoring, so. Okay, done with my coffee. But just start things. And a lot of this podcast is definitely going to have some episodes including starting in the gym and what it's like to dive into activities that you're not usually comfortable with. All about, stepping out of your comfort zone. And the biggest thing I always say is just start. You don't need to know what you're doing. You don't need to have the right supplies. You don't need to have the money. You just need to have the passion and the drive, and you make it work. Okay, so that's how we're making this podcast work. I am so excited to have you guys here. We are going to be talking about today how to balance gratitude with our everyday minor inconveniences, or maybe they're big inconveniences of life, and where we can find that balance and how to cope with this lack of gratitude that we sometimes may feel because of all these inconveniences in our life or challenges that we're facing or positions that we're in or environments that we don't want to be in but we're in. Let's talk about it. This is a huge topic. So I know my best friend Sophia is listening. Hi, Sophia. I'm sure you're playing Slither.io at work and listening to my podcast. I love you and thank you for texting me and getting mad at me every time I don't upload a podcast on time. But we are going to be talking about jobs that you don't want to be in. Okay. Towns you don't want to be living in, but you're there. Choices that you're making every day that you just kind of wish weren't the choices that you were making and you just feel stuck, like it's out of your control. And then just feeling this lack of gratitude of like, I don't feel appreciative for the things around me. I don't feel appreciative enough. I should be more appreciative for the things that are happening and the things that go on around me and the environment I am in, even though I may hate it. Or maybe you love it, but you just don't feel like you love it enough or you don't give it enough time. So that's also having to do with, living in the present moment and all that good stuff. A fucking door just slammed in our apartment because of the wind, and oh my fucking God. Every time my heart drops. Jesus Christ. Okay. There was something else I wanted to mention before I keep going. Oh, you guys may be confused. So I'm already going to explain this on Behind Closed Doors, but you probably know me. If you guys don't know me and you're just like a random person visiting, I started a podcast with my best friend Adriana, and we have a podcast called Behind Closed Doors with Allie and Adri. And by the time this episode is uploading, we're probably going to be on season 3 already, and there's already like 40 episodes in total we have, plus. There's a ton. So if you guys have not checked out Behind Closed Doors with Allie and Adri, please go check it out. Literally, Adriana is the best co-host in the fucking world, and we have the best conversations, and they're hilarious. They're deep. We cover all topics. It's going to be the same message I kind of sent to you today. And that podcast, the reason why I'm starting a new podcast is because this is something I want to do for the rest of my life, and I want it to be my career. And I also wanted to attach a podcast to my brand and my message. So that's why I'm doing this on my own. And I'm still going to be doing Behind Closed Doors with Allie and Adri. But we've just kind of discussed, like, we are not going to be living together anymore. We don't live that far away from each other, but it's going to be a lot harder once, like, she gets a job and I'm working. So it's not going to be as consistent as we would like it to. And I want to podcast consistently. I want to make this my career along with many other things. So I decided I'm going to start my own podcast and continue that one with her. So if you guys haven't subscribed or followed, whatever thing you could do on these apps, I'm pretty sure it's following. But on our YouTube, it's going to be Behind Closed Doors with Allie and Adri. Or no, it's Behind Closed Doors, Allie and Adri. And same thing on Spotify and Apple Music and Amazon Music and all those different things. I mean, Apple Podcasts. So yeah. So that's my other podcast, and I'm just so excited you guys are here. So let's dive into this kind of stuff. I'm going to start talking about this topic. I'm going to read some stuff to you guys today that help me find gratitude and I think about all the time on the daily. And some of these are from Homebody Rupi Kaur. And then another reading is from Josie Balka, which she actually came out with a poetry book available for pre-order. It's called I Hope You Remember by Josie Balka. And you guys know who this girl is. If you're on if you're on YouTube right now, she's this girl. You guys definitely recognize her. She like records her poems in like a soundproof room with a microphone right in front of her, and her poems always just hit so fucking different. They're like insanity. They're amazing. I love them. I want to be her. She is a huge inspiration to me, and I want to write a poetry book just like her one day, and I'm actually writing one right now. Anyways, I'm going to just go over some readings from those people. So I'm really excited about those. Let's start with finding mindfulness in everyday activities. So I'm going to tell you how I channel this throughout every single little thing I do when I'm purposely trying to be aware of the things that I'm doing. So when I was in advanced camp for the Army, that's just basically like a camp you go to in the middle of your college career of ROTC, and you get graded on like leading missions and shit, okay? So that's what advanced camp is. In advanced camp, you are not really supposed to be on your phone at all. And a lot of the times you're sitting around and waiting. Like, that's the Army. Hurry up and wait. So you get there on time, you get there early, and you're just waiting. And you're just always freaking waiting, okay? So a lot of the times when you're waiting at this camp, you just talk to people next to you. Like, you're standing in lines for hours for like medical things. You just turn around, you talk to the person next to you. Hey, what's up? You learn things, you start talking in groups. And it's this amazing thing that we don't do anymore. We literally do not do anymore. And I've noticed this. Like, look at any line for coffee, any line for food. Everyone's on their phone. Nobody is sitting around, or nobody's standing around looking, letting their thoughts wander. We're just immediately like, oh shit, there's going to be a period of time I have to wait and it's going to be boring. So I'm going to take my phone out, rather than creating conversation with the person next to you, or just standing there and letting your mind wander, or watching things happen around you. Something that I've also kind of really been thinking about is the fact that there are so many things that happen around us and we have no idea. Do you ever like something happens and your friend's like, oh my God, did you just see that? And you're on your phone, you're like, oh no, what happened? Oh my God, like a car just crashed in front of, like, next to us. And you're like, wait, what? Like something crazy like that. And I think the meaning of things happening to you just simply right next to you, in front of you, around you, and you have no fucking clue. It's like a shot to reality of like, oh shit, like I am in my own world right now. I'm on my phone because I feel like I don't need to be admiring the trees right now, or I don't want to listen to my thoughts right now. So I'm going to pull out my phone, I'm going to scroll and just get that quick dopamine release and just get myself more addicted to my phone. And then also looking at 200,000 people's lives at the tip of my fingers, just scrolling, comparing myself, probably getting myself in moods because of something sad I saw, So it's the first thing I always think of is like back to those moments at camp where I didn't have my phone for a pretty long time and I just was noticing things around me. I was talking to people, and I do that now, and sometimes I think it just is a simply challenge of next time you're standing in line for something, next time you are at a red light, stare at the red light, sit there, don't go on Snapchat, don't pull out your phone. The second a conversation starts to die down, don't pull out your phone. Sit in the silence and lean into the silence. And that's something I don't think we normally practice. We have things so accessible to us at the tip of our fingers that we're always constantly trying to do something and always trying to stimulate ourselves, which, trust me, like me with raging ADHD, I understand. I'm always trying to do things. I'm doing multiple things at once. And it's just not a good way to live, because I don't know who knows this, but multitasking is a myth. You can't actually multitask. Basically what's happening in your brain is just making rapid switches to both activities that you think that you're multitasking at, and that actually creates mental fatigue. Just think about that. That's why you're probably so damn exhausted, because you're multitasking all the time. When are you actually just doing one thing? So the first thing I used to do when I started really being like, I need to be more present, I need to be more mindful, I want to be here. Obviously, I keep saying obviously, like you guys know me, but not everybody knows me that's listening to this. I meditate. I teach meditation classes, and a big part of meditation is just being present, taking the time to be still and breathe and aware of your surroundings, or just aware of what's going on inside you. And through meditation, I have just found that I want to be present here. I hate when time passes and you're like, man, that went by fast. Yeah, because every moment you get to soak it in, you're going on your phone or you're doing something else. And the realization of like, I can go for the next 10 years and feel like, man, like I wasn't even present these past 10 years. Like, when people will say things like that, or maybe you listening even feel it, where you're like, I feel like I was there, but I wasn't there, you know? And that's a shitty feeling. Like, I want to be everywhere. The places my body's in, I want to be present in those places, even if those places are tiring and challenge your patience and annoy you. Be there. Just soak it in. Because one day you're going to grow up and you're going to know, where did all the time go? All of a sudden, it's a month. Well, when I'm recording this, it's going to be a month till I move out of here. I'm never living with my best friends again. Unless I move in with one of them. But it's just like, time just can slip right through your fingers. And if you're not present for it, then you're just going to end up one day being like, where did all the time go? I wasn't here. I was somewhere else. So really lean into silence. Lean into impatient moments where the red light is taking a really long time and you just want to jump out of your skin. Sit and just practice your patience. Calm yourself. Maybe breathe. Maybe look around. Maybe admire something. Think about something you can find gratitude from around you. Like, oh, it's really cloudy out. This is making me really depressed. But like, isn't it kind of a beautiful thing? Like, look at the rain. It's almost like the rain is like clouds crying. I did that one the other day. I thought of it. It's like the clouds pouring out emotions. Just like something stupid. But it's not stupid. It's better than doing like going on your phone and being scared of silence and being scared of any moment that can make a thought arise that you don't want to deal with. And also, if you're trying to work through something really emotionally hard for you, the more you escape through TVs and your phone and ignoring the silence, ignoring the stillness of life, it's going to be a lot harder for you to get through a breakup, grieving somebody, weird turmoil in friendships, feeling like, you're not enough, right? And that's a shitty feeling to feel, but feel it, because then you got to get through it. The only way out is through. So, yeah, that's where I start my process of finding more gratitude for things, is I think in those little ways, I can make a huge difference in my life long term. And remember, it's long term. It's not short term. Like short term, it fucking sucks to sit there and think about a breakup. Long term, it's going to help you. I want to talk about mindful eating. So I know everybody listening has definitely experienced eating something, and all of a sudden you look at your plate, you're like, where did the food go? It's such a weird feeling. You're like watching TV, you're eating popcorn, or maybe you're just eating chicken, whatever the fuck it is, and you're like, where did my food go? Like, wasn't there another piece of chicken supposed to be here? Did I eat that? Isn't that weird? Like, isn't blacking out while you eat food weird? It is. It is. I'm here to tell you it is, okay? So the biggest thing that I have tried to do is mindfully eat by not watching TV while I eat, not doing any other activity while I eat. If I'm working and I need to eat, I just shut my laptop and I start eating. Stare out into the abyss. Stare out, look at your refrigerator, stare at a blank wall, just eat. Let your mind wander and think about the food you're eating. When I mindfully eat, I'm just thinking about the food I'm eating. Now I'm going to bring this back to some military talk, because this is what I think about all the time. When I'm out in the field and I'm eating an MRE, I'm like so ravished, I'm so hungry, and I'm just like eating, it's like shitty food. You're just eating it, or even just being, let's think about like after a workout, right? If you guys are not in the military, think about after a workout, right? You're so hungry, you're so thirsty, and you just start eating and like drinking water, and it feels so, so good. Eating could feel so good all the time if you just put your mind to it. Think about when you get high. If you guys are smokers on this podcast, when you get high, eating is so yummy. Is it not? It could be so yummy if you just pay attention to it. And I know you're probably like, no, fuck that. It's not yummy. Having the munchies is 1,000 times better. Okay, cool. Then I know what to tell you. If you're going to combat me, like you're going to combat me. I don't smoke, so what am I going to tell you? Okay. I'm not allowed to. But when you don't watch a TV show, when you eat, when you actually just think about your plate, think about how grateful you are for the food. Think about how grateful you are for the food in front of you. In the field, right? I'm eating this shitty food and all I could think about is like, oh, I would just love a fresh apple. Oh, I can't wait to go home and cook my own meal. I can't wait to, do this. And then you do get the chance to do it, right? You're home. Now you're eating your meal and all of a sudden you don't really even give a shit. You're standing up while you eat. You're not even sitting down at the table and enjoying your food. You don't care. And then all of a sudden you're full, like really, really full, and you don't even know why you're full because you weren't there to eat it. You were in another world watching a TV show. So even just not even the point of like being present in the moment while you're eating, it also it helps your metabolism because it's like, okay, I know when I'm full, I'm paying attention to what the food feels in my body and all those kind of things. And also just looking at the food and being like, some people don't even eat food. Like some people can't even get food. Some people are starving. I got to cook a meal. When you're like, oh, I don't want to cook. It's been a long day. Like, isn't the point to have a table to sit at? And I'm quoting the poem, which I'm going to read you, but it's like, isn't the point to have a table to sit at? So sit at it, So this is like ridiculous how many camp references I'm making. But another thing was like, I remember texting my friends. I'm like, I was really miserable in the field and I was writing down things and I was like, I can't wait to just sit in a chair. Sit in a chair. Imagine craving sitting in a chair. And I was like, I just can't wait to drink cold water. And I can't wait to drink out of like a glass and things like that, right? And if you can't relate to sleeping out in the woods and craving a bed and good food and a chair to sit in, you could still think about those moments when you come home really hungry and that food is like the best thing in the world, or when you've had a really long day and your bed is like extra, extra comfy. That's all in your head. You could do it all the time. Every time you sit on a couch being like, oh, like it's so nice to be sitting on a comfortable couch. It's so nice to be sleeping in my bed with my pillow, my own stuffed animal, and I get to set the whole mood of this place. Just kind of like all of the answers are just all around you. There's so many things that we just overlook and we don't think about that are happening right now. Right now I'm sitting on a couch. This is something that when I was in the woods, all I wanted to do was sit on a couch. And here I am. So I got to be grateful for it. And I have to pay attention to it. The comfort that I experience, the sensations in my body that I experience when I'm in my bed and I'm comfortable and ready to go to sleep and it's been a really long day. All those moments can feel exactly how you want them to feel. You just got to think about it. Like you just got to pull things. You got to be like, damn, I have a table to put my food on. This is really nice. I don't have to eat on my lap. Some things that people don't have access to. You have access to every day and you don't realize until it's gone what you have. I'm going to read you guys this poem. And then once we read this poem, this is one of my favorite poems. I read this one all the time and I send it to everybody. This is Rupi Kaur in the book Homebody. This one's called Productivity Anxiety on page 88. I have this productivity anxiety that everyone else is working harder than me and I'm going to be left behind because I'm not working fast enough, long enough, and I'm wasting my time. I don't sit down to have breakfast. I take it to go. I call my mother when I'm free. Otherwise, it takes too long to have a conversation. I put off everything that won't bring me closer to my dreams, as if the things I'm putting off are not the dream themselves. Isn't the dream that I have a mother to call and a table to eat breakfast at? Instead, I'm lost in the sick need to optimize every hour of my day. So I'm improving in some way, making money in some way, advancing my career in some way, because that's what it takes to be successful, right? I excavate my life, package it up, sell it to the world, and when they ask for more, I dig through bones trying to write poems. Capitalism got inside my head and made me think my only value is how much I produce for people to consume. Capitalism got inside my head and made me think I am of worth as long as I am working. I learned impatience from it. I learned self-doubt from it. Learned to plant seeds in the ground and expect flowers the next day. But magic doesn't work like that. Magic doesn't happen because I figured out how to pack more work in a day. Magic moves by the laws of nature, and nature has its own clock. Magic happens when we play, when we escape, daydream, and imagine. That's where everything with the power to fulfill us is waiting on its knees for us. Productivity, anxiety. Oh, this poem is so beautiful in so many ways, and it's so true. I always tell myself all the time, isn't the point to have a table to sit at? So sit and eat. Why are we standing? Why are we taking our food to go? Something that I love Adriana will do, she'll not move the car while she's eating. So like if she gets, let's say we get Chick-fil-A, right? And we're not sitting inside because let's say we're on a road trip or whatever the scenario is. She sits in the car, she parks it and she eats and then she goes. And I'm more of like, I'm going to eat while I'm driving type of person because like, oh, if I can multitask, then why wouldn't I? I can get home faster. And I was on a ride home one time. It was like a 3.5 hour ride home and I got Taco Bell. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to sit in the car and I'm going to eat it. I'm not going to keep driving. And I sat and I enjoyed it. And even though like sitting in the car is not the best option, if that's the option that you're choosing, sitting and actually enjoying your food rather than thinking about driving is another way to mindfully eat. My physics teacher, I will never forget, he always told me, I don't know the exact percentage, but he told me like how common it is. There was, I think, some study or some percentage they had of how much people, I think it was Americans, eat in the car. And it was kind of crazy because like, damn, like we don't even sit to eat our food. Like it's a take it to go type of situation. We don't sit and enjoy it or try to, lean into the community around us that we can by simply sitting alone at a restaurant, which is such a nice thing. Adriana does it all the time. It's awesome. I remember my first time I really like consciously did it was at an airport. I went to a sushi restaurant. I was like, I'm going to have a little dinner alone. I'm so excited. And it was really exciting. And why don't we do that? Like the same way we're like, oh, when we're in a relationship or when we're with a friend, we want to go out to eat and treat ourselves and have a nice time. Go do that with yourself. Spend time with yourself. When is the last time you enjoyed your own company that wasn't like you just happened to be alone? You physically made the effort to be like, I'm going to go do this alone. I did that. I took myself on an ice cream date the other day and I just sat there and I ate in the car the whole time. And I was like, fuck yeah, this is awesome. It was great. I'm just going to sit here and eat my ice cream. Not going to take it to go. I'm just going to sit. But yeah. And we're so scared of like someone seeing us do things alone. Because like we think that being alone is a bad thing, that like being single is like, oh, I haven't found my person yet. When it's like, what if I'm not looking for my person right now? What if I'm just looking to find myself? What if I'm looking to just be with myself right now? And even if I do have a partner, they're at home, I want to be with myself. What's the big deal? We always associate being alone as something sad. When you see an old person eating alone, you're like, oh, I'm so sad. Why are we sad? What if their wife is at home? Like, what if they love their company that much, which we all should, and just like to eat alone? So that's what I think about. I think about that poem a lot. And that's like every time I'll be like standing up eating breakfast, I'm like, sit the fuck down. Because then the line goes like, isn't the point that we have a table to eat at? And then another one sticks, which is like, why do we wait for time where we have time to like call our grandparents? We're like, oh, okay, now I'm on a long car ride. Now I could call my grandparents. Oh, now I'm doing nothing. Now I could call my mom. Why don't we carve out the time to call these people the same way we carve out time to do our homework and work at our jobs? Why don't we do it? Why does it have to be something that's like, oh, when I get to it, when I have time? No, make time. Make time for it. Do it. Because you may not always have a person to call. You may not always have your friends at your fingertips just waiting at the apartment that you live in with them when you get home. Because one day that'll be gone. Another thing I always think of is the Dexter episode where Deb is with like the older cop, like much older cop or detective, I don't know. And they're like they're doing a case and then they're at a marina and then he's like, okay, we're going to sit down and eat lunch. And she's like, no, like we have to go. Just like take the sandwiches. Like, let's go. He's like, nope, we're going to sit down and we're going to eat lunch and we're not going to talk about our case right now. And then he sits down, he munches on a sandwich and he just talks about life. And I love that. Something I noticed that always bothered me is this old school I used to be a part of. The school that I teach at now, oh my God, love the community and all my friends there. Every time we have lunch, we're just talking about everything. But I had the last school I was at, every time we sat down to like have lunch, it was always about school, the students, the work they're doing. And there was never any talk about like people's personal lives. And I'm like, we're here to eat lunch. We don't, like, we're on a break. We don't need to be talking about the thing that we do for 7 hours. Let's talk about life. Like, let's not talk about the students for 1 second. And listen, I get it. Sometimes I talk about, what's going on and this and that during lunch, but I'm saying there has to be a balance, Sometimes when you're at work, you gotta maybe step outside and make a phone call to someone that'll cheer you up. And sometimes you may need to just shut the computer and be like, you know what, I'm going to do nothing and just sit here and actually take some restful time to myself. 10 minutes of no phone, no nothing to re-energize myself, because work is really draining right now. Things like that I think are really important and make a huge difference. Okay. Oh, this one, guys. This one's a nice short one by Ruby Carr. Again, Homebody. This one says, we've worked so hard to be here. We could afford to slow down and enjoy the view. So I was on a run the other week and I just wanted to run towards the water. There's like a bridge you can go over and the river goes below you. And I was just on a run. So I was like, okay, I can't stop. Cause that's like my goal. I don't like to stop on runs, but I was like, but I run to this river. I run to this river for a reason. I love the view. I love the bridge. So let me just stop. Like, I have already come so far. I can stop and I can enjoy the view. Not everything needs to be work, run. I could stop and I could just breathe and look at the stuff around me. Like, even on the way to your car when you're leaving work, right? Do you need to jet right from the door to your car door? No. You could take a nice slow walk, looking around, admiring the trees. Why are we so like head in the game? I need to do this next. I need to do this next. Look around. You've come so far. Just look around and see where you are. And maybe you really hate where you are. And just you looking around is going to help you realize, yeah, I really don't want to fucking be here. I want to leave. Which brings me to the other side of this whole gratitude talk that I want to get to is, what if you're looking around and you're trying to be present and you hate the present moment? Okay. Whew. This is heavy. Living a life that you don't like. I'm going to start this part saying you are one decision away from a different life. It's true. Just one decision. You could drop out of something. You could quit your job. You could start a new job. You could send that email you've always been waiting to send. You could be sending that text you've always been waiting to send. You are one decision away from changing your life all the time. So, I think we let our excuses get to us. Ooh, I just thought of this amazing analogy. Okay. I want you to think about career choices and jobs. We are meant to think that like we always need to be working. We always need to be making money because that's what life is about, isn't it? It's not. We always think that we need to be on some path that's bringing us closer to our future. What if our idea of this path that we think we're supposed to be on is actually something that you just need to step off of, and that's actually your path? Does that make sense? So maybe you're in a job you don't like and you think, well, this is getting me closer to my future. This is getting me the experience I need to put on my resume, but I really hate this place. What if stepping away from that job or internship or thing that you don't want to be in, that's actually leading you to those doors that are going to be open for you, that lead you to better opportunities? When you think, oh, this is the path I'm supposed to be on, maybe it's not. Maybe you have to step off that path that you think is good for you and it's not. The same way relationships work. Now, I think if I say this, it's going to make people think, oh, well, when you put it that way, you're kind of right. I want you to imagine you are in a job that you hate, and maybe you are in a job you hate. And you say to yourself, I really hate it here, and I want to leave. Whatever your reasons are, they're valid. You want to leave. You don't like it there. But you think, well, it's better than having no job, because that would mean I wouldn't be making money. I'm just going to stick this out until I find another job. Okay. Now I'm going to ask you this. If your friend were to tell you, I'm in this relationship and it's not doing me any good. I really hate it. Maybe they don't use these words, but they're like, you could tell it's draining them, or they express that to you. This is really draining me and they're doing this, and this, and I don't think they're going to change and I need them to change, and da-da-da-da. Whatever the scenario is, it's a toxic relationship, it's unhealthy, or it's just not filling their cup quite the way they want it to. It's filling it halfway, maybe not even. But they say, it's better than being single. It's better than having no boyfriend or girlfriend or whoever. It's better than having no significant other. So I'm just going to stick it out. I'm just going to like be with them for a little while longer. I'm just going to be with them because it's not like being single is better. Like I'd rather just be in this relationship than have to go through a breakup and have to, maybe you guys live together. I would have to move out. I'd have to get custody of my children. Like we're talking now, you know, let's say the excuses really go that far, because in some case scenarios that is it. You would look at your friend like, holy shit, like this is sad. You think that you staying in this is something that you have to be doing, and that stepping off that path would mean a worse life. Yeah, maybe you would have to go through custody battles and moving out, or maybe you would just have to go through a breakup and that really sucks. Or maybe you would have to go to being broke because you, now relating this to the job stuff, you resign from your position and you just say, well, yeah, I feel like this is better than not having anybody. So I might as well just like stick it out through a toxic relationship and just deal with this type of stuff, because there's no better out there. Yeah, you're right. There's no better out there until you start believing there's better out there. And that's the thing. You only know what you've experienced. You only know the people and the jobs and the environments that you've experienced, because that's what you've experienced. It's all you've ever seen. So you don't know that there's better out there. Maybe you don't have examples of love, or maybe you only have shitty examples of shitty relationships and shitty partners. So in your head, you're like, well, if mine's not as bad as that partner, then I'm winning. You're not. Why are you comparing? Oh my God, I hate this. Why are you comparing your jobs, careers, and your relationships to shittier ones? You're like, well, at least I don't vape as much as my friend does. He does it a lot. At least I don't drink as much as this person does. He does it a lot. She does it a lot. These things that we think, oh, well, if I'm not doing it as bad as that person, then I'm clear. If my boyfriend's not as toxic, or girlfriend is not as toxic as my friends, then I'm good. Does that mean they're enough for you just because they're better than the worst type of person? Just because they're a little bit better? No. You should always be striving for the most, striving for the healthiest relationship. And if you have never seen one, then you can create one. Be the creator of this extremely highly standard life that you want to be living. Don't be comparing it to people that have shittier lives just to build yourself back up. It's almost being like, well, you know what? At least I'm not as bad as that person at this, so I don't need to get any better. Like, what? And remember that if it has to do with money, I know it changes the situation. Like where you're like, I need money, so I need to be in this profession. I need to be having a job, like, or I have kids, right? I need to make money, so I have to do this. That's where it gets tough. And I can't speak on that experience because I don't have financial burdens like that. Like, yes, I have my business that I need to like continuously pay off, but like I got to lose money to make money. And I think that applies even when you have tough scenarios where you need to make money because you have people that you're supporting. Sometimes quitting your job and being broke for a month helps you find that dream job that you've always wanted, and then you end up making more money than you ever have. You know, but you wouldn't know unless you tried. And I think we're so scared of hitting rock bottom, whether it's financially or, oh my God, I just thought of something. You know, when you have a budget group of friends and they're so fucking shitty, but you're like, well, if I cut them off, I'm not going to have anybody. Yes, because being without them is better. They are draining you. The same way this job is draining you. The same way all these bad habits that you have that you don't want to be associated with is draining you. So fucking leave. Be alone. It's okay. You don't have to be friends with shitty people. You could just be friends with yourself until you find better friends. Because the longer you're with certain people, whether you're with a significant other that's not serving you, or you're spending time with friends that are really draining you, the farther away you are from finding people that are going to make you feel alive. The longer you stay at your job right now is going to keep you farthest away from the job you're looking for. And now again, I know in some scenarios where you need to make money, you're going to stay at that job, look for another job and continue. And I think that's great, but have that motivation to go get on your computer and start looking for another job. And maybe you have to keep the shitty job for financial reasons. And I understand that. And it's valid. Search for another job. Take the risk, or just fucking go broke. My favorite stories are people like Mel Robbins and Jay Shetty, where they were like living on someone's couch, or Mel Robbins was $800,000 in debt. And then all of a sudden they just like, they started just working towards their passions. And all of a sudden, look where they are now. They had to lose money, go broke to spark that creativity inside them, spark the motivation, spark the passion, and go. The same way traumatic events and heartbreak and loss and depression and mental illness, something comes out of it. Why do you think the greatest albums of all time are based on shitty fucking scenarios? Olivia Rodrigo sings about heartbreak. She had to go through a heartbreak to create those songs. All my poems are sad as fuck. I had to go through, I cry sometimes when I write them. I had to go through shitty things to have this part of me blossom, to create something, to create pieces of writing, whether you're an artist and it helps you create paintings or songs or whatever you do, you can express yourself through these ways. And sometimes we need to feel the pain and we need to hit those rock bottoms to come out with something huge. Like, do something that motivates you that you've always wanted to do. So when it comes to balancing gratitude and wanting more, know that you are, again, always one decision away from changing your life. Even if you hate your job, or you're struggling in a relationship, or you know something's going to end, you want it to end, you don't know how to end it, you don't want to go through the feelings of letting someone go, whatever you're dealing with, you can still find gratitude in other ways that don't relate to those choices that you're making every day. And remember that the choices, the whole environment you're in is basically a choice. However, we're still going to have those minor inconveniences. We're still going to have those big inconveniences. We're still going to want to complain about our situations. But remind yourself when you're complaining, after you've had your venting thing, always come back to the part of, I'm choosing this, okay? Like, let's say you complain about your job a lot, which I'm all here for. I get it. Sometimes, like, life is fucking hard and we just want to complain about it. And it feels good to complain. It, like, releases stress. Let the stress kind of roll off your shoulders as the words come out of your mouth, and then remind yourself, this is a choice. Like, that's what helped me in this whole ROTC 4 years of waking up early and doing all these things. Same thing, whatever you're doing in your life. Every time I wanted to complain, and let's say I did complain sometimes, I always had to bring myself back, and I didn't do this all the time, but I try to. Bring yourself back to the point of, like, I'm choosing this. Every time I want to complain about my master's program, I have to come back to myself in my classes and say, I'm choosing this. This is me who's putting myself through this. This is not something that is happening to me. If you're in a relationship that sucks, you are choosing it. Every day that you are with the person, you are choosing them. You are choosing the relationship. You are choosing the situation you're in. We sometimes don't want to take accountability for all of the things that are happening because we think they're happening to us. We are choosing these things. And it's okay to complain about things and want more for yourself, but also find gratitude in little wins in every single day that's working. So if you're in a scenario right now where you're like, I feel like I should be loving my life more because I have a job, you know, it's paying me a lot of money, it's giving me a house, it's providing me with opportunity, I'm able to put this on my resume, I'm learning things from it, but I just don't like it. You don't need to be grateful for those kind of things. You just need to understand that they're your choice. You're choosing it. And you still have every right to complain. The complaining's valid, but just know you are putting yourself in that situation every day you show up. And we realize and we learn the biggest lessons through showing up to things that we don't want to be at, that we don't have to be at, and we learn later on, I'm not doing that again. I'm not putting myself through another relationship that makes me feel like that. I'm not putting myself through another job that makes me feel like I'm uncomfortable every time I'm in the environment. We learn our lessons that way. And if you're in that scenario, make good choices. Try to figure something out that's going to make you feel more fulfilled. And if it takes a long time to figure something out, that's okay. If you feel lost, that's part of the journey. Feeling lost is part of the journey. It's okay. But do something about it. Try to do something about it. Try to set boundaries with the people that are making you uncomfortable. Try to make work a little bit more exciting by buying yourself something cute to look at your desk, or going on a walk to energize yourself during the day because work is extremely draining, or making time to call somebody on your lunch, because we experience burnout, and maybe you like your job, but it's just still really hard. You could still find things during the day that are going to be your little wins that keep you going. And that's the most important thing. Sometimes you got to motivate yourself. Sometimes you have to put up that inspiration board, or you have to write down your goals, because writing is extremely beneficial. Putting out words into a page is something that more solidifies your beliefs. If you are working towards a goal, but work is just really hard right now, or let's say you're working towards finding a person to spend the rest of your life with, but being alone is really hard right now, remind yourself of where you're heading and act with intention. Act as if those goals are happening every day that you show up to this place, or you show up in your own life, and be present in this space where you don't have a significant other. Whatever the scenario is, don't forget those goals, and always think about the bigger picture. And that may be able to help motivate you through those really tough burnout times where you like your career, you know this is what you want to do, but it's just really hard right now. And that could be a scenario too. I was talking a lot about ending relationships, or even relationships you're in that they're not supposed to be, like, they're good, the person's good for you, but you're just struggling right now, and that's normal. Those rough times, sometimes you just got to look at the bigger goal. Like, okay, we're just going through a little patch right now, and we're going to work on this. We're trying to work on this, but don't just say, oh, we're going to work on this, it's going to get better. Like, actually actively work on it. But again, some scenarios we're in, they're meant for us and they're supposed to be happening. They're our passion, but they're just difficult. We need to help find that balance of the gratitude and then the like, wait, this is actually kind of hard. Remember, validate your feelings, but try to ask yourself, what's in my control right now? What's out of my control and what's in my control right now? It may get you pretty far. I want to finish off with this poem, and this was by Josie Balka, the one that I said in the beginning that is coming out with a poetry book, and I literally wrote this whole thing down for my meditation class. I listened to her TikTok and wrote down everything she said, so I'm going to read to you guys today. And on TikTok right now, the things that are trending is like, by the time you guys watch this, I don't doubt it's going to be a trend, but everyone's saying like, this is the point. The marathon is not the point. All of the runs that sucked before it were the point. Why do we treat the runs that have the awards on them and everybody watching and a bib as the important, extremely life-changing events when you just did a 20-mile run the week before? That's just as life-changing as the one you just did, but it just has a bib attached to you and people are watching you. Same way someone runs a mile that they've never run before. That is just as life-changing as somebody who's running a marathon. We always think, oh, we have to be doing these huge events that everybody else is doing. We have to be running marathons and doing this and doing that. But that's not really true. Sometimes the point is that you get to wake up and you get to look outside and you get to sip your favorite coffee of the day. So let me read this because I'm going off on a tangent. Here we go. I almost forgot that this is the point. And one day I'll regret hating Mondays and living for the weekends. I'll wish I didn't wish away sitting in traffic and answering emails and cooking dinner at the end of a long day. One day I'll be near the end and realize that all of it was the point. The ordinary and the extraordinary. Trips across the world and trips to the grocery store. Sitting in boats, applying sunscreen and putting lotion on my legs before I go to sleep. Dancing in the rain and singing in the shower. Going out all night and wasting the next day away hungover. And also staying and feeling rested. Sundays at the farmer's market. Long thought out road trips with your friends and crying at the red light in your car alone. All of it is the point. And we only get so much time to do all the things we want to do, whether mundane or magnificent. All of it is remarkable because being alive is point of being alive. And we only get one chance to prove our point. And sometimes it's attending a routine meeting, but sometimes it's meeting the love of your life. Sometimes it's climbing a mountain, and sometimes it's climbing into a bath after a really long day. Running a marathon or running late for a coffee date with a friend. Every single thing you do is the point. Being here is the point. So this was beautifully written by Josie Balka, and you guys need to go follow her and buy her poetry book. But it's so true. Like, and now reading these things, I think about like when I put on lotion at night, and I'm like, you know what, this is the same as like getting ready to go out for a full beach day. And getting ready for a 2-mile run is the same as getting ready to go out and run a half marathon. These little things that we do every day, we can bring importance to them as long as we change our perspective. And we realize that all these little moments and times you connect with your friends, and times that you sit around doing nothing and then all of a sudden something creative comes out of it, or sometimes nothing comes out of it, just rest, which is not just rest, it's rest, that's awesome, is the point. And we don't always need to be doing extraordinary things to feel accomplished and successful and fulfilled. Sometimes fulfillment comes in tiny, tiny little ways. And the way we can do that is being present, looking at our surroundings, not going straight to our phone, eating without looking at our phone, putting our phone on do not disturb, walking out and touching grass, not hibernating in our room all day, going out and talking to somebody, planning a date with somebody that you haven't seen in a really long time, texting somebody that crosses your mind. So I really hope you guys enjoyed the first podcast of the Muscle Mommy Mindset. I am so grateful to be doing this and so proud of myself that I put my coconut oil, 2 candles, and my camera, got out the podcasting stuff, and took the time to talk to you guys today, because this is truly my dream, and I want to be doing this and spreading my perspective and my thoughts to everybody I possibly can. Now, for my promo on my website, swolleshady.com, where we unleash our inner muscle mommies through sweatshirts, hoodies, and hopefully soon workout apparel. Join the Muscle Mommy community. Follow me on Swole Shady Inc. My personal Instagram for fitness and wellness is ms_Swole Shady. And if you guys, oh my God, I have to come up with a new promo code because I'm used to saying BCD Swole. Okay, 15% off your order. Use the code Mindset15. Thank you guys for coming, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.